St. Ignatius Cleveland in lane 4. That is going to be a massive, massive competition there.
Yeah, and I don't even know what your strategy is if you're St. Ignatius Cleveland on this one. Bell and Jesuit's got a great start. They settle into a great rhythm.
Yeah.
I mean, if I were St. Ignatius Cleveland, and I were the coxswain, I'd be like, let's get our start, let's settle into our rhythm, and let's not try and burn too hard in those first 500, because I think Bell and Jesuit's got a great stroke. If you try and push too hard and you're St. Ignatius Cleveland, I mean, this is 1,500 meters. It's that last 500 you got to take them,
right.
And I don't know. I just think
But are you trying to win this, or are you just trying to do a piece?
No,
I think that those are two very different approaches.
No,
to
but
this.
I just think a race like this, Bell and Jesuit's so good.
Yeah.
You got to try and put yourself in a position to win in the last 500 meters, not in the first 500.
But look at, I mean, we've got a lot of big names in this event here. We got Walt Whitman. They've been sneaky and they've been aggressive. We've got New Trier in lane 1, St. Peter's in 5, and Chaminade in 6. This is going to be a great race.
Here come Iggy and Bellin.
I know. We know that's going to be. We know that Bell and Jesuit's going to be out there and pushing hard.
Yep.
And again, I think Ignatius Cleveland's got to find their rhythm and then start making moves when they get to the 500-meter mark and really try and just stick with overlap until you get to the last 500, and then just lay it down and see if you can get it.
See what kind of gearing you got, right?
Yeah. I mean,
they're the lowest out of the field right now insofar as rating out of St. Ignatius, a couple of beats under the rest of the field, so giving themselves some room, like you said, John, to lay in wait and strike at the opportune time.
Right. And as expected, Bell and Jesuit looking beautiful off the start. Ignatius Cleveland playing a good race right here, keeping contact, keeping in the mix. It's 1,500 meters. You see St. Peter Prep working hard to stay in there.
Yeah.
And
inviting themselves to the party.
Oh, yeah. And I'm curious what's going to happen out in lane 1 with New Trier. As New Trier settles into it, will they catch up on St. Peter's Prep? Will St. Ignatius Cleveland be able to maintain their strength? We know that Bell and Jesuit can be up there. And again, I think Ignatius Cleveland is rowing just the race that I would want to try and give myself a chance against Bell and Jesuit. I mean, that crew's been so fast. I bet they haven't been challenged too much during the year. Just let it be a dogfight at the end, but you can't let them get too far out. You let them get too far out in these 500, this middle 500, you're not going to get them back.
No, again, that's why I think at this point of the race right here, Ignatius needs to make some moves and try and push in, get that seat, get Bellin thinking about you just a little bit. Maybe they get a little bit tight, maybe the rhythm changes just so, and you now create a circumstance where the door of opportunity is just cracked, so that you can force your way in and make this what you want.
I think they're doing just that, Chris. I mean, that's a beautifully rowed race from those top two crews. I mean, they are both rowing just what their coaches would want them to do, I imagine.
Absolutely.
And let's see what they can do. And again, those two crews are so fast. They are pulling away from the rest of the field. That doesn't surprise me after seeing them go in the semis. And a real battle here for third place in these challenging conditions.
Trier and St. Peter's.
St. Peter's pushed hard in that first 500. The question is, what's going to happen in this next 500? And New Trier is opening it up in this next 500, making a great move right there. And these top two crews are really both fighting each other hard. And these coxswains, I know, are coxing hard against one another.
Yep.
And can Bell and Jesuit put some space between them in this middle 500, or is Ignatius Cleveland going to hold on and give themselves a chance for the finish? Here's the middle. Here's the final 500.
Coming to the final 5.
All right, this is the time when Ignatius Cleveland this is the time when either Ignatius Cleveland's got it in the tanks or they don't. And Bell and Jesuit's going to have it there, and they're going to push it. Does Ignatius Cleveland have it to push back? If I were them, I would start sprinting early and just say, hey, boys, you just got to go. You just got to go.
You got to.
That crew is fast. If you got a chance, you got to go now.
Whatever you've got to put it on the end of that handle right here and try and find a way to just start eating into Bellin.
And here you have St. Peter's Prep fighting back against New Trier with just a fantastic last couple hundred meters. I mean, New Trier looked like they were moving up, but St. Peter's responded, and they keep responding in these last few hundred meters. And look at St. Ignatius Cleveland. They are doing just what we said. They are pushing hard to give themselves at least a chance against this incredibly talented Bell and Jesuit crew. What a race here. Look at how far out. This is a final. This is a final in a tailwind. And look at how much space they have until the third place crew. It shows how good these See, this is why you fight. This is an opportunity here. Wow.
From Bellin.
What a race between these two crews. Such talented crews. The battle of the Jesuits. Make Loyola proud. Who's going to do it?
Have one more gear left? Does Iggy have one more lift here for the final 20 strokes? Can they find a way to just surge and catch up?
Wow, look at that race. So well raced by both crews coming into the last 10, 15 strokes.
Ignatius has gained.
Ignatius pull it off.
Even better here.
What great racing from both crews.
Coming down to it here. Coming down to it. Who's going to leave blades in?
What
and
great racing.
It's Bellin.
Wow.
By a half a deck.
Wow.
Third place.
Wow.
Wow. What
Coming
a
down to it here. Looks like St. Peter's going to hold on.
Wow.
By less than less margin than I think that separated first and second. That was a very tight race for third.
That was a great last 150 meters from New Trier there to come back into St. Peter's. But, you know, hats off to Bellin Jesuit and hats off to Ignatius Cleveland. Both of them, I think, rode about as well, about as clean races as they possibly could have. Both sticking to their race plans.
Look at this.
Both pulling it out.
440. Taking it up to God's country, low 40s through the final few hundred meters of that piece. The air was thin, but the effort got them through.
But again,
unreal.
Just such good racing from those top two crews. I mean, in a final to have over a length of open in a 1,500-meter race with this tailwind, and to have both those crews fighting each other. I mean, that Bellin Jesuit crew, we knew was going to be so good, and they were.